Once upon a time, in the heart of America, where dreams were nurtured and ambition soared, a deep concern loomed over millions of its citizens. Amid the bustling cities and quiet suburbs, countless public sector workers, teachers, firefighters, police officers, and others who had dedicated their lives to serving their communities found themselves grappling with a system that seemed to overlook their sacrifices. For years, these hardworking individuals faced unfair reductions in their Social Security benefits due to the Windfall Elimination Provision, WEP, and Government Pension Offset, GPO. It was a struggle for fairness that resonated with millions of voices, growing louder with each passing day. The roots of this story stretched back decades to policies initially crafted with good intentions, but which inadvertently penalized public sector workers. These provisions, WEP and GPO, were designed to prevent individuals from double-dipping into multiple retirement systems. But their impact was disproportionately harsh on those who had spent their lives serving the public. Teachers who had educated generations of students, firefighters who had battled flames to protect communities, and police officers who had maintained order all found their benefits slashed. It was an injustice that weighed heavily on the hearts of millions, a silent burden carried by those who had given so much. The story truly began to change when the United States government introduced a beacon of hope, the Social Security Fairness Act. This legislation aimed to address the inequities that had long plagued the system. The promise was simple yet profound: to eliminate WEP and GPO, ensuring that public sector workers and their families could access the Social Security benefits they rightfully deserved. It was a step toward justice, but the road ahead was fraught with challenges. As whispers of the proposed act spread across the nation, hope surged in the hearts of millions. Public school teachers, who had spent decades shaping young minds, envisioned a future where their retirement benefits reflected their lifelong dedication. Police officers and firefighters, who had risked their lives to protect others, dreamed of security in their golden years. Families of retirees saw a chance for stability, an opportunity to reclaim what had been unjustly taken away. Yet, despite the widespread support, skepticism lingered. Would this act truly see the light of day, or was it another fleeting promise? The stage was set, but the path was anything but smooth. The Social Security Fairness Act faced opposition and bureaucratic hurdles. Critics argued that the proposed changes could strain the Social Security system, creating a tug-of-war between reform and sustainability. Some lawmakers voiced concerns about the financial implications of eliminating WEP and GPO, warning of potential costs that could challenge the broader system. Advocates, however, remained steadfast. They knew that the current provisions disproportionately affected nearly 3 million Americans, penalizing those who had devoted their lives to public service. The battle lines were drawn, with passionate voices echoing through town halls, online forums, and community gatherings. As the movement gained traction, it became more than a legislative effort. It was a rallying cry for justice. Teachers organized discussions in their schools, firefighters and police officers held community meetings, and retirees shared their stories on social media, inspiring others to join the cause. The conflict escalated as December 11th approached, a day when workers from affected industries planned to march in solidarity before the Capitol. The air was electric with anticipation, the kind of energy that transforms ordinary citizens into catalysts for change. Chuck Schumer, the majority Senate leader, took center stage, expressing his determination to bring the act to a conclusive vote. It was a critical moment, a test of whether bipartisan efforts could bridge the gap between promises and action. Teachers, firefighters, and police officers stood united, their collective will becoming an unstoppable force. They knew this was their chance to rewrite the narrative, to replace decades of frustration with a legacy of fairness. As the days passed, tensions mounted. Supporters of the Social Security Fairness Act knew that time was of the essence. Their fight was not just for themselves, but for the generations that would follow. The stakes were high, and every delay felt like an injustice prolonged. Public sector workers voiced their frustration, calling for reform that would address the systemic inequalities ingrained in the Social Security system. The rising action reached a fever pitch, with advocates emphasizing that this act was not merely about numbers on a page, it was about dignity, recognition, and fairness. Finally, the day arrived when the fate of the Social Security Fairness Act hung in the balance. The halls of Congress buzzed with activity, and the eyes of millions were fixed on the decision-makers. The climax was nothing short of dramatic as lawmakers debated the act's merits. Supporters highlighted the injustice of WEP and GPO, underscoring how these provisions unfairly punished public workers and their families. They shared stories of retirees who struggled to make ends meet, of families who had been forced to cut back on essentials, and of the psychological toll of knowing their contributions were undervalued. Opponents raised concerns about the financial implications, cautioning against hastily altering the system. It was a battle of ideals, where every argument carried weight and every vote held significance. And then, as the dust settled, a decision was made. The Social Security Fairness Act emerged victorious, signaling a new dawn for millions of Americans. The Act's passage marked the resolution of a long-fought struggle, a triumph for fairness and justice. Public sector workers across the nation celebrated, their voices united in gratitude and relief. The provisions that had once limited their benefits were now a thing of the past, replaced by a system that recognized their contributions and safeguarded their future. Yet, victory was only the beginning. With the Social Security Fairness Act set to take effect in 2020, the journey was far from over. The implementation phase brought its own set of challenges, as eligibility criteria and administrative processes needed to be established. Public sector workers remained vigilant, determined to ensure the Act's provisions were enacted smoothly and effectively. It was a testament to their resilience and a reminder that real change often requires not just winning the battle, but sustaining the peace. For countless individuals, this legislation symbolized more than just financial relief. It was a validation of their worth, a recognition of their sacrifices, and a promise that their voices mattered. Teachers continued to educate with renewed vigor, firefighters responded to emergencies with an even greater sense of pride, and police officers patrolled their neighborhoods with the knowledge that their futures were more secure. As the story of the Social Security Fairness Act continues to unfold, it serves as an inspiration to all who strive for equality and justice. It reminds us that even in the face of entrenched systems and daunting odds, change is possible when people come together with a shared purpose. The journey of the Social Security Fairness Act is a testament to the power of collective action, a beacon of hope for those who dare to dream of a fairer world. If you found this story insightful and want to stay updated on the latest developments, be sure to subscribe for more updates. Together, we can continue to shine a light on the issues that matter most and celebrate the victories that bring us closer to a fair and equitable society.